Republicans wanted the best spokesman. It's Vivek.
Yeah, dude.
That guy's an animal.
Smooth, dude. I was just praising him on
He's
the way
an
here.
animal.
I've been watching him on the Breakfast Club, man.
He's
I
so
like him.
good. He's so composed.
Dude,
and he's only 38, which is what you want. You want someone who actually has a future.
38
you don't
might
want
be a
anybody
little
goes,
young.
I'm going to leave my mark. Bang.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want that.
I like him, man. The more I watch of him, the more I like him.
I like him a lot.
I like Bobby, dude. I like Bobby's my top choice, but Vivek is. I want to, dude. Everyone's against Hindu presidents. I'm like, dude, we need to get some Hinduism going
I
here.
think
He's
that's the
saying
holdup.
some wild shit about like getting rid of the CIA and getting rid of the FBI. Like, bro,
Yeah, he's.
they're gonna put you in a convertible, take you to Dallas.
He doesn't give a fuck. JFK's like, shouldn't we have a roof here? Shouldn't the car have a roof? Nah, just get in the back.
What are all those men doing in the grassy knoll?
Guy's lifting up an umbrella. That's weird.
Yeah, I like him, man.
Fuck.
I mean, dude, I think the future's bright. I think we'll get some.
Oh,
That's nice to hear.
That's so optimistic.
Well, you can't bullshit really anymore. People are gonna start expecting, like, if you're a president in 10 years from now, at least, if you're not sitting down for a 3-hour long form, people are gonna be like, "Fuck this guy." It's like that's like a ShamWow guy. It's like, dude,
That
you can't
is
just
true.
do infomercials.
That is true. That is true.
They can sit and chop it up. Bobby Kennedy can sit and chop it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna start being like, I'm
But
good.
They get mad at Bobby Kennedy. Woof.
I love that guy so.
Woof.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a beautiful sight, okay? That is a sight to behold right there, okay? Trump and Melania, the former president and former first lady of the United States, walking in with what could be the future vice president and I guess second lady of the United States. Is that what they call the wife of the vice president, the second lady? Okay, I think that's what they call it. But anyways, that's what you're seeing there, folks, right? That's what a lot of people are theorizing, because Trump and Vivek made a grand entrance into Mar-a-Lago at a party celebrating Trump in what looks to me to be a very, very, very strong relationship developing between Trump and Vivek. Now, we do know that Vivek has basically joined the Trump campaign following dropping out of the race. And ever since then, it's almost been like a match made in heaven, okay? You already have Trump taking policy ideas from Vivek. Every time Trump introduces Vivek, he gets VP chants, he gets VP cheers. Glenn Beck claims that Trump told him that when asked about who he should pick as VP, most people are telling him Vivek. I think that the base wants Vivek. And Trump seems to be listening, right? He seems to be a man listening to the people, and at the very least is vetting Vivek for the VP spot, okay? And again, I told you guys, if Trump actually picks Vivek, I'm not sure if it's the best pick from increasing his electability standpoint, which who knows? If Joe Biden is his opponent, it might not matter, right? Because that's how bad of a shape Joe Biden is in at this point. But a Trump-Vivek ticket is a ticket that I will quite literally run through walls to support and to try my best, do whatever I can to help them get elected. I mean, I'm going to do that regardless, but I'm just saying it will be extra motivation to have a legendary ticket like Trump and Vivek, okay? That is quite literally ultra MAGA, okay? That's ultra MAGA right now, okay? So I'm just saying that these are some great signs here, okay? You're seeing Trump give Vivek the kind of spotlight that you've actually never seen Trump really give to anybody else. And that's the weird part about this, because Trump usually doesn't roll like this when it comes to, you know, kind of having other characters that, you know, he sees as potentially a threat to his throne kind of roll with him like this. But he seems to be very comfortable with Vivek being in this spot. Again, it's almost like real recognize real. I think the difference between Vivek and a lot of some of these other guys, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here in a minute, is that Vivek doesn't actually really need Trump from a career standpoint, right? He's not a career politician. He's a self-made billionaire. He can quite literally quit politics and go and make another $1 billion, okay? So I think that Trump respects that because most of the people that try to surround themselves with Trump, they're politicians, and politicians need him to have a career to do anything. So I think that Trump low-key kind of looks down upon those people, and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here in a minute. And I think, you can kind of tell with the body language, okay? The body language between Trump and Vivek is a lot different between, somebody like Trump and, for example, a normal, regular politician. I'm going to show you guys in a minute what I'm talking about. But first, I want to play this video of him and Vivek walking in as the crowd roars. Yeah, so I'm not sure about the copyright stuff, so I'm going to turn off the volume here for the music. But, yeah, as you can see, they're walking in together. Okay, I mean, it's him and Vivek. It's not him, Vivek, and a bunch of other people. It's basically him and Vivek. I think everybody else is security. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but that's what it looks like. I mean, they are the stars of the night, it seems. I mean, obviously, Trump is the main star, but, yeah. It's good to see Melania. Okay, it's very good to see her. This is exciting, right? I actually get goosebumps seeing stuff like this because I really, really, really want a Trump-Vivek ticket. And, I hope that Trump picks the right person. So, yeah, you can see that, clearly Vivek is getting a lot closer to Trump. But this video right here is exactly what I'm talking about in regards to body language differences. When Trump interacts with somebody like Vivek, who I would say, at least from a success standpoint, a business standpoint, is probably slightly below Trump. And one of the main reasons why he's not at the same level as Trump is because of his age. He's only 38. But consider how he's self-made billionaire at 38 years old. I mean, with more time, he's going to be on the same level as Trump from a business perspective, no doubt. Okay, and again, I think that Trump definitely respects that. But this is what I'm saying in regards to the body language differences between Trump interacting with somebody like Vivek versus somebody like Ted Cruz. Look at this. Clearly, you can see Trump is in a dominant position, right? Look at Ted Cruz's body language, okay? His hands in his pocket. He's looking down. Trump is towering over him, He's clearly, kind of giving it to Ted Cruz, talking to him. I'm sure he's saying some, nice things or whatever, but you just know who the alpha male is, okay, from this interaction, right? Everybody can clearly and obviously see. Okay, and some people may say, oh, I'm looking into it too much and blah, blah, blah. Nah, I don't think I'm looking into it too much. I'm just saying, I don't think I'm looking into it too much. I don't think that Trump really respects regular politicians like that. I just don't think that he does, okay? That's just my opinion. I think there's a reason why he never got super dirty with Vivek in the race, okay? He didn't have some fancy nickname for Vivek or anything like that like he did for Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. Now, it could be that he didn't see Vivek as a threat, so he really didn't see the point of making up a nickname for Vivek, but I have no clue, okay? I'm just saying that Trump, the way he has dealt with Vivek has just been different than he's dealt with other politicians. And I think the reason why is quite literally because he doesn't respect politicians. I mean, I don't either, but I'm just saying, I mean, I think this is kind of how he thinks. But let's watch this.
So, I just see Vivek is here. He's sharp. I was happy to get him the hell out of the race, I can tell you. And as soon as he got out, he endorsed me, and he's got a tremendous future. He's very young. He's young and he's smart. And Melania and I were just saying, I mean, you don't get sharper than this. And I just said, could you say a few words to the great audience? And ladies and gentlemen, Vivek, please.
Wow. Again, so he's inviting Vivek to come and speak at a celebration for him. Okay. I really wish that I went to this thing. I really do. But yeah, I mean, I think this says a lot for Trump to give up the platform to Vivek at a celebration that is for him.
We're in the middle of a war in this country. And we need a commander-in-chief who is going to lead us to victory in this war. And that man is Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States of America. If you want to seal the border, say it with me, vote Trump. If you want to actually grow this economy, vote Trump. If you want to fight inflation, vote Trump. If you want to revive our national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to send Joe Biden packing home for the next 4 years, vote Trump. If you want to make America great again, vote Trump. That's in your power. Let's make it happen. The 47th President of the United States. May God bless the United States and Donald J. Trump. Thank you all. Vote Trump once. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, so you see now, you heard that. Now, one thing about Vivek that I think is interesting is that when he does these speeches for Trump, these stump speeches, he adds in his own flair, right? When he says, if you want to revive national pride in this country, vote Trump. He's kind of throwing in his own campaign themes into Trump's campaign, right? He's, I guess, trying to help the messaging, steer it in a way that I think is more inclusive, okay? And that is something that I picked up on that I think is pretty fascinating. I think that Trump is listening to Vivek, and he's already kind of realizing that, hey, this guy is really good at marketing and pushing the America First agenda and articulating it in a way that can definitely help expand the base and to bring more people into the movement. So with that being said, Trump recently has talked about potential vice president picks with Maria Bartiromo, and I want to play this clip so we can get some insights in regards to what Trump is looking for in a VP.
Your VP is?
Not for a while. I mean, we have so many great people in the Republican Party, but not for a while.
Well, what criteria are you using to identify who your running mate is?
Always, it's got to be one thing. It's got to be who would be a good president. I mean, you always have to think that because...
Yeah, I mean, that is the number one thing that has to come to mind is, okay, well, if I die or if something happens, is the person taking over going to be a good president? Are they going to be able to lead the country in the right direction? So I love the fact that Trump gave that as, I think, his number one qualification because that is important, okay? I don't think that Democrats were thinking that way when they thought about Kamala, right? Because if they were thinking that way, then they would not have picked her, evidenced by the fact that the polls show that the second most unpopular politician in the country outside of Joe Biden is Kamala Harris. So clearly they weren't thinking about that when they picked Kamala.
Because, you know, in case of emergency, things happen, right? No matter who you are, things happen. It's got to be number one.
Who is your running mate?
Well, I have a lot of good people. We have a lot of really good people.
So you haven't decided who it is?
I have a lot of good ideas, but I haven't. And there's no reason to do that quickly. So you haven't told that person, you're my person? I speak to everybody.
Yeah, so I don't think that Trump should decide on a VP until after the GOP primary is over, okay? Once Nikki Haley is out of the race, I think that's when he should decide because I think that Nikki Haley being in the race provides an opportunity for Trump to see how independents are voting. And I think that he definitely should take that into account when choosing a VP. How are independents voting? How are they receiving the current campaign as is? And I think that's going to be important information. Although it is bad that Nikki Haley is still in the race because she is forcing Trump to use campaign resources to campaign against her, resources that he could be using to campaign against Joe Biden. So it really is, a double-edged sword with Nikki Haley still remaining in the race.
I speak to everybody. You know, I called Tim Scott because a lot of people like Tim Scott. I called him and I said, you're a much better candidate for me than you are for yourself. When I watched him, he was fine. He was good, but he was very low-key, et cetera, et cetera. I watched him in the last week defending me and sticking up for me and fighting for me. I said, you're a much better person for me than you are for yourself, because for himself, he was low-key. For me, he's been a real tiger. He's been incredible. And others have too.
So when it comes to people like Tim Scott, I don't necessarily know about Tim Scott. And the reason why is because Tim Scott is just, he's basically like Nikki Haley, okay, from a policy standpoint. They're basically the same. He's establishment, just like she is. The only difference is that Tim Scott supports Trump and Nikki Haley doesn't as of this moment. She will when she drops out. But, I think that Tim Scott is a guy that you're not going to get much from outside of, okay, well, he's black, so maybe he may bring more black voters into the party or the ticket or whatever, even though I don't think that really should be at the top of Trump's mind because you don't need black voters to win. You just need them not to vote Democrat. So if you're going to go the identity politics route, I don't think you should really worry about votes based off race as much as you should worry about votes based off gender. Where the GOP actually really needs to focus is women, okay? Women are the Achilles heel of the GOP right now, and that's what he really needs to worry about going into 2024 if he's going to make the pick off of identity politics, if it matters. But you're not going to get much more from Tim Scott than you would get from somebody like Ben Carson, okay? If you're going to go with I'm going to pick the black guy, okay? I'd much rather go with somebody like Ben Carson, who I think is much closer to Trump from, a certain perspective. At the very least, he's not establishment. I think that Ben Carson is smarter than Tim Scott. I think that Ben Carson is more impressive than Tim Scott overall. Not that I don't like Tim Scott. I just think that he's just not impressive to me, okay? He's just a politician, right? Ben Carson is not, right? He's a world-renowned neurosurgeon, right? So, if he's going to go to Tim Scott route, I would much rather him pick Ben Carson, okay, to be quite honest with you.
Maybe it's Tim Scott.
Well, it could be a lot of people. But it was interesting. I was watching Tim. I've been watching, for a while. I watched him campaign as a candidate. But I watched him over the last 2 weeks. As you know, he endorsed me, fully endorsed me, gave me a beautiful endorsement. And he has been really strong in terms of that. No, but that has nothing to do. I don't want anybody to take even any inference. But it's incredible. Kristi Noem has been incredible fighting for me. She said I'd never run against him because I can't beat him. That was a very nice thing to say.
What was the story that your team reached out to RFK Jr.?
It's a false story. No, it's a false
You
story.
never reached out to RFK Jr.?
I like him a lot. Nope, never happened.
Is it fair to...
Yeah, so an RFK Trump ticket would be interesting because I think that would basically, I think, guarantee a victory for Trump, okay? But I'm not necessarily sure if RFK is the right fit with Trump. But out of the two candidates that he named, if he's talking about somebody that can be a cheerleader for him, which, again, is a part of the job of vice president. I mean, that kind of is the main job of the vice president. The vice president is only as powerful as the president makes the VP. So, Trump talking about somebody being able to cheerlead for him is actually important. That's actually a qualification for the job because that is the main function of the vice president, is to make the president look good, to be able to speak to the policies of the administration and to be able to talk and speak to different groups of people. And if that's the criteria that he's going with, then Vivek is better than all of them, right? But Vivek is going to be better than Kristi Noem or Tim Scott. Okay, and this is why I think that, even though I think that Trump would be wise to pick a woman, I think that Vivek is the most qualified candidate if he's going to go that direction in regards to what you're looking for in a VP. If you take out electability, if you take out the role of identity politics when it comes to actually winning the race and getting elected. But I think Vivek, he would be able to potentially expand the base in the sense that his sheer work ethic and his ability to articulate the America First agenda in a way that I think is inclusive, that will bring different sorts of people into the race. He can go on anybody's platform and speak to them and speak to that audience in a way that I think will, at the very least, not turn people off. I think that that's very powerful, okay? And I think the fact that Vivek even got 8% in the Iowa caucus coming from an absolute nobody in a year, getting 8% of the vote, I think is a testament to his ability to attract people, okay? To get people on board with his message and his agenda. And I think with the backing of Trump, with the blessing of Trump, okay, as VP or the VP candidate, and then him going out across the country and being willing to campaign in places like Chicago or New York, or some of these places that, again, are very liberal, but you can still go in there and you can still push that America First message, which, especially in today's political climate, you can definitely do because of what's happening with the illegal immigration crisis, what's happening with all the money we're sending overseas. Americans are fed up, right? It doesn't matter where you live at. Americans are fed up with progressive Democrat policies. And I think that Vivek has that type of energy, that infectious energy that allows him to go into a blue stronghold and to push that message in a way that's going to attract people to the movement. I really do believe that that can make up for the fact that Vivek's not a woman, okay, which, again, is the issue with the GOP right now is women, particularly single, unmarried women. I think he can make up for that, potentially. But what I do know is that the VP position, Trump's VP position, is very, very, very valuable because, one, Trump's only going to be in office for the next 4 years. if he wins. And also, the economy moves in cycles. So it seems as if there most likely going to be some very favorable economic conditions going into 2025, 2026, 2027. And if that's the case, that along with closing the border can make it a very, very, very favorable environment for a vice president to come after Trump and to win in the 2028 election easily and to potentially get another 8 years. Okay, so that's the ideal scenario, and that is why I think that Trump's VP pick is going to be extremely important. I trust that he will make the right decision. I know at the very least, if Vivek is not the guy, it'll definitely be somebody that will help him win no matter what. And Vivek will, at the very least, get a cabinet position. It seems like he's guaranteed to be in the Trump circle in the next Trump administration. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.